compensation plan. I'm very excited to introduce this phenomenal speaker. My daughter, my husband, John, and I and my daughter went down to Orlando for a B2B convention by LegalShield Business Solutions Convention. And she saw this particular presentation, Brittany Hoffman. She was our Director of Business Development for our company, and she saw this presentation by Don Thompson and said she was just aghast at the amount of money, the success someone could have, the long-term income that could be sustained by doing the right behaviors and building a solid business. So what you're going to see today, and now my other daughter that got started 2 years ago, she'll be any day now, she's a days away from her $100,000 ring, 2 years into the business, and it's because of what you're going to hear about today. This is real, this is solid. People out there in America need to hear about this opportunity and the amount of money that they can make that is real. You're helping people, you're making a difference while you're making a lot of income. So I'm going to turn it over to Don Thompson. He's the Business Vice President of Florida and Ohio. He's a $100,000 ring earner, a Gold Executive Director with LegalShield, and a Millionaire Club member. So we get the opportunity for him to share with us what he did in Orlando, Florida. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Don Thompson.
Well, thank you, Darcy, and great to hear John on the line this morning. I have so much respect for you and your family and the entire ShieldNation organization. There's a lot of great leaders all across North America, so really excited to be on the call with everyone this morning. And my point of the presentation today is just to really help everyone understand, as Darcy was just talking about, the tremendous income potential in the B2B compensation plan. Now, really, you can apply these principles to every area of LegalShield, no matter what division that you're working in. But this morning, we're going to specifically talk about the B2B compensation plan as it relates to group marketing, small business marketing, team development, agency development, and how you can really build a tremendous income. And we're going to talk about 4 areas this morning that can help you understand exactly how the compensation plan works. There's 4 ways that you can earn income with your LegalShield business. Of course, you can earn income through personal sales volume by going out and just sharing the membership, whether it's in a group setting with a company or on an individual basis. You can also build an organization, build a sales team. I like to think of it like an agency where you can have associates all over North America that are writing business. And one of the things I focused on is building that in the B2B space, so I could have a lot of agents on my team that are writing business in groups and small businesses. Just a tremendous opportunity there. We're also going to talk about residual income. I think it's really important to understand what you're working for long term in your business. And then we're also going to touch on some incentives and how those incentives can certainly add up with all of the different incentives that LegalShield has. So to get started, let's talk about your personal sales volume. And of course, looking at the numbers last month company-wide, it looks like a lot of associates are certainly taking advantage of the personal sales volume with your LegalShield business. And for the sake of the presentation today, we're going to be talking about a group membership that's $33.90 a month. And in most states, that's going to be the family legal plan, which is $18.95 a month as a group, and then adding the family ID Shield to that as well, which you get a discount in that group setting. So in most states, $33.90 is a very common enrollment membership when you're out there talking in the group setting. You can see here, we kind of put up the compensation plan, showed you what you need to do to advance to each of those levels through personal sales volume. And again, the orange numbers you see there from associate to director, those are permanent level advancements. And it just tells you that when you get to that level of personal sales that you're going to advance. So 7, 15, 50, 100, that's cumulative. That's not per month, that's cumulative. The blue numbers, senior director and executive director, those are going to be monthly numbers. And so let's talk about in terms of senior director, just to kind of give you an example. And at senior director, that's an associate that is doing about 25 personal sales a month. You can see that the percentage is 48%, which comes out on that $33.90 plan to be $195.41. So just using that as an example, and I lost the screen. Oh, there it is. Okay. So using that as an example, I put together some numbers based on 300, 400, 500, 1,000. I mean, you pick your number. You take 400 for example. You know, if you're serious in the B2B space and you're out there and you're talking in the group arena, 400 personal memberships is certainly within your reach. That's what we call in the B2B arena. That's what we call special forces. And so 400 memberships this year put you in special forces. If you were doing 400 of those plans at senior director, that would be about $78,000 in a year. If you wrote 500 memberships, it's approximately $97,000, about $100,000 a year. If you're writing 1,000 memberships a year, which we have several associates in LegalShield that have already surpassed that for this year, that's over $200,000 at see $195,000 there. So the point in this is just talking about that you can certainly generate a lot of income with LegalShield going out there and just marketing those memberships, especially in the B2B space. So that's the first thing we want to talk to you about is just your personal production. The second area that we want to make sure you understand is team overrides. And when it comes to overrides, again, I think of it like agency development, building an organization. I like to think of it in terms of real estate. Would you rather be a real estate agent selling and listing houses, or would you rather be the broker that's got 150 agents working in their offices selling and listing houses and getting an override on each one of those? Most of us would rather put ourselves in that broker position right away. Same thing here. If you look at most insurance agencies, they're set up in a broker agent setup. With LegalShield, you have the ability to earn overrides on building an organization. And so in this particular example, I just was giving the example of someone at the senior director level going out and marketing memberships. Let's say you have someone at senior director level in your organization that's doing that, and you're at the executive director level. So your override would be the difference between your level at the executive director level and where the membership was sold, which would have been at the senior director level. Now, I know a lot of you, and I know one of the things I like to focus on as well is recruiting into the broker and general agency space, because there's a lot of agents out there that already have an established book of business, and when somebody starts as a general agent, they actually start at the senior director level. So kind of using that assumption, I put together a little model here to help you understand that if you're at the executive director level and you have someone on your team at that senior director level, could be a general agent that has a book of business that you're helping. Let's say you had 5 of those teams, and each of those teams is just doing 20 sales a month. That's 100 memberships going through your organization each month. Again, the override on that $33.90 plan would be $42. So 100 team memberships at $42 is $4,200 a month. Now, I know there's a lot of organizations that do a lot more than 100 team memberships. What if you built an agency that was doing 500 team memberships a month? In that particular situation, now you're talking in this particular example, $20,000 a month in income in overrides. So just helping you understand that there obviously is a lot of money in personal production. There's a lot of money in override production and building an organization. At the end, we'll put it together to help you understand how you can really maximize the entire compensation plan by working in all areas, but certainly it's why you want to focus on both areas. When I go into a group, of course, I'm always focused on production within that group, but then I'm also looking around to say who else, that's just like me, a benefit professional in that group would be a great candidate for me to talk to about the opportunity to add LegalShield to their portfolio, because I want to also make sure I'm maximizing the override potential and looking at their book of business that they have with all of their other clients. The next way we get paid is through residual income, and to me this is probably one of the most exciting ways that we get paid. I started in LegalShield in March of 1996, so this is my 20th year with LegalShield. And when I started with LegalShield, I remember I was about a year into the business. I was driving around and listening to an audio cassette tape, if you remember what those are, and there was a top business builder with LegalShield talking about residual income. And he was talking about, what if you could put 1,000 active members on the books? If you could put 1,000 active members on the books, here's what your residual income would be. And I remember being blown away by that number, because I thought to myself, I could do that. What if I put together, 100 memberships a year, personal memberships for 10 years, that stayed on the books, that were active. And of course, it actually happened a lot sooner than that. And now, building an organization where, it's selling about 500 memberships a year, personally, I can definitely put a couple thousand memberships on the books personally that are staying, and when the result of that is a huge residual income. And so we talked about your personal sales volume. We said, okay, so if you go out at senior director and you make a membership sale, here's what you get paid, $195.41. That's a 1-year advance commission. So what happens the second year, the third year, the fourth year? Every year the membership stays on the books after that. Well, now you get paid that residual income. So let me help you understand how that residual income is calculated. Basically, to give you an example, let's say September of 2015, you went out and you wrote 100 personal memberships. And so what LegalShield's going to do is they're going to say, okay, they look at that block of business for that 1 month, September 2015. They're going to go to September of 2016, and then because we have a 45-day pre-cancel window, they're going to go 2 months after that. So they're going to go day 1 on month 15, and they're going to say, okay, how many of those 100 memberships are still on the books? And let's say 80 of them are still on the books after that, on that 15th month. So then they're going to say, okay, we're going to lock you in to your residual. So you can see there's 5 columns here, up to 55%, 56 to 65%, 66 to 75%, 76 to 85, and over 85. Of course, your goal is to definitely get to that over 85. But in the example I just gave you, 80 out of those 100 memberships are still on the books. That's great. And so you're going to get paid in that 4th column, 76 to 85. So if you're a senior director and you originally made that sale, it's 195. But then if you go here and you add the 2176, start at the bottom at associate, add the 436, the 436, the 436, the 652, and the 872 all the way to your level at senior director, you add all of those together, and it comes out to $50.08. That will be your annual residual income on that membership for the lifetime of the membership. So they will lock in those 80 memberships now for the lifetime of those memberships. As long as they stay on the books, you're going to get paid on that level for a lifetime. So let me give you a couple examples, because I really want you to understand why it's so important that you're writing really good business. In this particular example, I'm going to step back a couple columns. We're going to look at the second column. So let's say you didn't have 80 memberships on the books. Maybe 64 out of the 100 were on the books. So you're going to be in that second column, and you can see at senior director, that's $25.04 per year on those memberships. However, if you were in that 4th column I was talking about, which is 76 to 85%, your income was $50.08 per year. Twice as much income on the residual side. Now again, when you think about that, you're looking at sometimes just 12 or 13% increase in your persistency, double the amount of income you earn on the residual side. The long-term effects of that is really, really big. I mean, think about it in terms of 1,000 memberships. 1,000 memberships active on the books, and you're earning $25 a year. That's $25,000 a year in residual. But if you have 1,000 memberships on the books and you're earning $50 a year, that's $50,000 a year in residual. Would you rather be getting paid $25,000 a year or $50,000 a year for the exact same effort that you put in? It took you the same amount of effort to sell those 100 memberships, but by going a little bit beyond, making sure you did a really great job selling the membership, making sure you taught usage, making sure you taught every area to that member, making sure you did a really good presentation, you didn't oversell the memberships, you really did a great job explaining how to use the benefits, you talked about member perks, you talked about how to get their ID Shield activated, you talked about all the right things so the member really understood the long-term value of the membership. You can literally double the amount of income you're going to make long-term. And that's one of the things I love to stress on residual income is that you are in control of your residual income, and the amount of money that you earn 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now really depends on the job that you're doing today. If you're at the 85% plus level, now you're at $62.60 per membership. You can see at 85 plus, the residuals here are phenomenal. I mean, at senior manager, you're getting over 10% residual. At executive director, almost 19% residual on that membership for life. Remember, your team overrides also work exactly the same way. So the way that they calculate your residual on your personal sales is exactly the way they calculate the residual on your overrides, because all those overrides you receive are one-year advance commissions. And so if you want to be earning phenomenal residuals on your overrides, you also need to work with your team to make sure your team's persistency is really good so that you're earning a great percentage on those as well. So let's show an example here of really, I think this is one of the slides that, that Darcy was talking about that really, blew people away when they saw the long-term residual income that can be earned. I talked about, we'll just leave it at senior director. We're talking at the, annual residual commission at the 56 to 65%, $25 a year, $50 a year if you're at the 76 to 85%, $62.60 a year if you're at 85% plus. That means if you had 1,000 active memberships on the books, your potential annual residual on those memberships is between, it could be $25,000, it could be $50,000, it could be $62,000, depending on your persistency. What if you had 2,000 memberships on the books? In many cases, you can create a six-figure residual income with those 2,000 personal memberships on the books. What if you had 4,000 personal memberships on the books? I mean, you can see if someone has 4,000 personal memberships that are active on the books and they're at the highest level of persistency, they're creating a serious long-term residual income. And so that's why volume is extremely important, but also persistency that goes along with that as well. The last part is also incentives. LegalShield has some tremendous incentives that you can cash in on that we want to make sure that you're not leaving that money on the table. One of those tremendous incentives is the BMW program, where you can actually go out and earn a BMW for 5 memberships on a monthly basis. So when you're talking about the BMW and the 5 memberships a month, you certainly don't want to leave that money on the table because that's $6,000 a year, $500 a month towards your BMW. So I don't think any of you would call LegalShield and say, hey, don't send me that $6,000 every year. I don't need it. It's a great additional revenue stream, so make sure that you're really focused on Performance Club. Of course, the trips. We have some tremendous, trips. I know the Platinum Council is getting ready to head to Rome here in a week or two, but for everybody else as well, you have a tremendous opportunity to, go to places like the Moon Palace in Cancun next year, and Maui, and some of the tremendous places that we've been all over the world. So we have those incentive trips as well. So there's a lot of incentives built in that you can certainly take advantage of. In the B2B space, another great incentive is just the annual group sales incentive, where you can earn bonus money just for going out and doing production. You can see here level 1 is just 50 group sales in a year. It started January 1. It goes till December the 31st. So many of you have an opportunity still, if you're not at 50 group sales yet, to cash in on that bonus, $150 cash and $150 in bonus bucks. The next level is 150 group sales. Now you're talking $500 cash and $400 in bonus bucks. Level 3 is 250 group sales. Now you're talking $1,000 cash. Level 4 is $2,500 cash. Level 5, 1,000 group sales for the year, $5,000 cash. Level 6, 2,000 group sales for the year, $25,000 in cash. So for example, if you qualify with 500 group sales for the year, you will at some point in the year have been paid level 1. You will also have been paid level 2. You will also have been paid level 3, and then you'll get paid level 4. So as you hit each level, you're paid that month for that level, and then you're eligible to also get the next level as well. So with LegalShield, the opportunity is certainly here. We want to maximize the compensation plan. We want to produce, recruit, retain, diversify, but the biggest word, in my opinion, on all of that is retain. We want to produce a lot of memberships. We want to recruit an organization, an agency, and if you do that, now you can cash in on every area of the compensation plan. So I put a little example here together, kind of bringing this all together that said, okay, what's my short-term game plan with LegalShield? Well, to me, if I'm focused on the B2B space, I'm full-time, and that's what I'm focused on, then Special Forces should be your minimum for the year. I'm going to definitely have my 400 personal memberships for the year. That's only about 35 memberships a month. If you're out there working B2B every day, you can do that. At the senior director level, that's $195 a membership. You just created $78,000 in income. The other thing you want to do is you want to build an organization. You want to identify people while you're out there working B2B who can also be doing exactly what you're doing, working in the B2B space, calling on businesses, working in the group arena. And if you can build an organization that's doing 100 memberships a month, you now have the ability to earn an additional $42, as I was mentioning in my earlier example. And of course, this is just an example. but that's 100 memberships a month. That's 1,200 memberships a year. That could be potentially another $50,000 in override income. You now have your six-figure ring, with LegalShield. However, if you look at this, you're thinking, well, something's not quite right, because if I'm doing that kind of volume, you're not a senior director. You're now qualified for executive director. So now you can take those personal sales, and instead of getting paid $195, you're now getting paid $237. So now you're getting paid $95,000 on your personal sales. You're getting paid your overrides. Your annual income is well over six figures. And on top of that, now you throw your car bonus on top of it. You throw the trips on top of it. You throw the B2B growth incentives that I went over on top of it. And then you throw all of the other promotions that LegalShield does throughout the year to help you maximize the compensation plan. And you can certainly earn a substantial income with LegalShield in the B2B area. And all of this is what you're getting this year. But what you're doing on the back end of your business, as a reminder, is you're also putting away that residual income that's going to pay you 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15, 20, 25 years from now, that income that you're working hard for right now. All of those numbers I showed you are what you're getting paid this year, but again, you're earning this residual for a long, long time to come. So that's why the compensation plan gets me so excited, because I know that regardless of what area you're focused on, you can certainly earn a tremendous income in your LegalShield business. And if you understand how all of the different areas work, and you understand how they all work together, then you can certainly maximize every dollar in that compensation plan to make sure that all your hard work and effort out there is being properly rewarded. So with that, Darcy, I'm going to turn the call back over to you. I appreciate the opportunity to share with everybody this morning.
Okay, that was so fantastic. Can you see what I'm talking about, why Brittany got excited? You can see all the slides here, and in case you have a question, now is question and answer. So I'm going to keep all the slides up. If there's anything you did not understand or you have a question on, please comment. So let's open up the lines. Trish, and if there's any questions, call on that person. I can't see who's out there.
Darcy,
go ahead and
Darcy, I got a call coming up here in a minute, but I just want to give a big thanks to Don Thompson. What a tremendous leader. And you can just see, folks, here's someone who treats his business like a business. And I've known Don for years. I've watched him from the side and had a chance to work alongside of him. And he's just always, very professional in how he goes to the marketplace, whether he's working on the phone, whether he's doing a sit-down, whether he's in front of a group, whether it's an acquisition. He always goes about his business with diligence and yet with professionalism, and at the same time is smart enough to keep it simple. And it is relevant in not only the presentation today, but the lifestyle that he and his wife and family have had an opportunity to work with through LegalShield. And hey, Don, great job, and just what an exciting time not only to be in LegalShield, but what an exciting time to be part of a company that continues to pioneer two of the largest industries in front of emerging growth markets, and to be part of a company that will really do more business in the next 5 to 7 years than we did in the last 35. So, guys, as Darcy said, we will look through. You just need to raise your hand. We'll answer any questions, any comments you might have. We've got a number of Millionaire Club members and six-figure ringers on here. So if you have a question, just put it on your dashboard and we'll come out to you. There's Miss Brenda Lafredo. But Brenda, you're not in the audio portion, one of our Millionaire Club members. So I can't call on you until you get in that audio portion of the webinar. And I know you know how that works, so I don't know what happened. All right, somebody's got some background noise going. I don't know if that's in Darcy or somewhere else, but Geo Giddings, let's go to you and whatever question you have, sir.
John.
Is that Trish?
It is. I just wanted to address the background noise. I just wanted to let people know that really we should not share our audio information that is sent to us, because what happens is when you share it and people use the same audio information, we cannot mute the background noise. And so it's really disruptive to the presentation. So I wanted to let everybody know that.
Yeah, you don't get me up on the phone.
Geo Giddings, I need you to just hold on. If you're going to be on another phone, then mute back out. But Trish, let me mute Geo up for a second. Trish, thanks for that insight. There's somebody right now that has a lot of background noise, and it's extremely rude and disruptive to the protocols of what we try to do for the organization and for you. You know, one person can interrupt a very, very awesome process with that kind of baloney. So just look, guys, you know, keep the main thing, and understand that this is going to be archived. It's going to go into a pre-recorded 24/7 ability for access, and you know we don't need that noise in the background. So don't share, and just have people dial in under the normal protocols. All right, Gio Giddings, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman, and thank you, Mr. Wilson, for sharing that. Just saw a lot of that.
Gio, you just got to speak. Okay, fantastic. Gio, you just called me 3 times. Dialing in for that.
What I was saying was there's a lot. Thank you, Mr. Wilson, for sharing that information. That was the aha moment for me. Just very simply, just staying plugged in, and this is also a great call. I've had a lot of health issues I've been dealing with between me and my wife, and to be able to reach out and listen to this information is going to be very helpful to me with me building my organization, and it's also as part of my personal sales. So thank you both of you guys for sharing this information. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Great to have you, Gio.
You don't hear it on there. You have to dial in.
We'll find out who that noise is in a minute, and then all right. Who else is out there? We got 100 people on this line. We've maxed it out, so I know we've got some other comments or thoughts. We do this call for you guys, so
John, can you hear me?
Katie Huff, great to have you. Millionaire
Katie,
Club
go ahead.
member.
Can you hear me, Darce and John?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we got you, Katie.
Okay, awesome. Well, I, really appreciate Don. He and I work together, obviously, out in Vegas, and I just have to say the 2x4 that hit me was obviously the screen where he's talking about the percentages of what you would make, and I think it's like number 13, Darce, or Trish. But anyway, the point of where I looked, and I personally like it an 83.5% persistency, and when I looked that I'm only like 2%, maybe 3%, to get to over that 85%, and what that would do to my residual income blew me away. I was just like, oh my God, it goes from like, I don't know the exact numbers obviously, but it was like something like 65,000 to over 100,000, and that's at the executive director level obviously, and I was just like, holy moly. So what I want to do going forward obviously is we get those pre-cancel reports and our member services are doing a great job of calling them, but personally making a commitment to call those pre-cancels to see if we can help them stay on the books to push us up and over onto the, over this 85% persistency, which would, pretty much almost double our residuals. So the thing is we work so hard to get these members on the books, and like John was saying, we absolutely need to, do our best to make sure that they stay for the long term, because otherwise we're just going to be running on a treadmill to keep the persistency at that the minimum level. So I'm excited about this. I was excited when we were in Florida, and obviously I just really, really appreciate Darcy and John, all the things that you guys always do. I'm so proud to be a part of our organization, and I'm so grateful to have you not only obviously as our mentors and our platinums, but also just as our friends and our family. And Dawn, I include you in that as well, and all of the people on the phone. So thanks, guys, for all that you do.
Okay, thank you, Katie. I'm waiting for John, but he's on a Platinum World call. So I see Teresa Wright Johnson. I see Jim Harkema out there. CJ, I can't get you because you've not put in your PIN, it looks like. So anyone else want to speak? Speak up.
Brenda Lafredo had a question.
Brenda?
Actually, it's Jerry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Hi, Jerry.
What blew me away here, I guess it's on the same slide, that if you do nothing about your persistency and you're doing 65%, his examples is $25K a year on 1,000 memberships. But if you just move it up to the company average to 76%, 76% to 85%, it doubles your residuals to $50,000 a year, for that 1,000 memberships. I mean, that's incredible. It's like Katie Huff said. He says, it really pays to pay attention here for the long term. A little bit of effort here over a consistent period of time could double your eventual income, from this one source, which gets to be more and more of your income as you move on. So this is pretty phenomenal, and everyone should strive to get to at least the company average or above on this. So with that, back to you, and thanks. This is a phenomenal presentation.
Okay, thanks, Jerry, for those comments. Anyone else out there? I just want to say something on this slide. For instance, when you're looking at personal sales volume, which builds your residual in the future, so just on personal sales volume, we're looking at Knoxville, Tennessee, about 600,000 people. We have 39,000 small businesses in Knoxville, Tennessee, 39,000. So I don't know what city you're in, or we're in a teeny tiny city, it's not that big, and we have so many people to reach, so many businesses to serve, whether it's with the small business plan, the family plan, or the employee benefits. All of those things are sales to make and to serve with a small business owner. So to think of 300 or 400 a year, and like Don said, he said 35 sales a month. If you were full-time and you were just calling 10 businesses a day, which that is not even really full-time effort, to connect with 10 new businesses a day, because that's an expectation if you're working at Aflac, and they're supposed to call 20 new businesses or 30 new and walk into 20 businesses a day if you work for Aflac. So you take your business and you treat it like a business, and you're doing those minimum connects on a new business and filling up your funnel. 35 sales in a month to put you at the 400 a year to make this kind of income. I'm telling you, there isn't people out there in America making $78,000 a year and having freedom. And then on top of that income, having the ability, all that income, you can get paid $78,000 at senior director, which you're probably going to be executive director, but at senior director, $78,000, and then you have this residual, this retirement building up year after year. So if you did the 400 and you did that for 10 years, you'd have 4,000, and then it brings you over to that residual, which is 4,000 sales. I think he had an example there, 4,000 sales. You've got a residual of 100 to 200 to, I can't see that last part, because but to 200, I guess it's what, 50,000 in residual. So who has an opportunity where they can make, protect a family, protect employees, serve small businesses, be a part of your community, make a difference, make a huge almost six-figure income, and if you want to go over 400, you'd be hitting a six-figure income, but no, just do 400 every year for the next 10 years, and you've got a retirement income of $100,000 to $250,000 a year. Who offers that in a career choice? I don't know any other company that offers that kind of thing. People are working for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. 10 years later, 20 years later, they get these little increases, but they're stuck in this ceiling, and they don't have a residual, or the freedom to be with their kids and to travel where they want to travel. So that's my comment. Anyone else ready to talk?
Yes. Hi, Darcy. It's Jim Riley.
Oh, Jim, go ahead.
Hi, how are you? Absolutely fantastic presentation. A little background noise again. Fantastic presentation, and for me, listening to this and looking at residual income, what really came to mind, I had a BFO. For those of you who don't know what that acronym stands for, it's a blinding flash of the obvious. Yes, the presentation was on residual income, but what I saw here, this is a retirement plan. This is your new 401k. So what you invest in it, not money, but effort and keeping your persistency up, you will yield a great return. So that's what I got out of it, and I want to thank Don and the team for that. Thank you.
That was awesome, and great comment, Jim. And then there's a lady's voice I heard. Who's that?
Yes. Yes, can you hear me? This is Reba.
Hi,
California.
Reba.
Hi, thank you. Really enjoyed the presentation. First time I saw the breakdown of the residual income and how it works, so that was fantastic. My question is, he talked about the memberships, and let's say if you did 400 or 1,000 memberships a year, It's a payment of that residual income. Is it paid just once a year from LegalShield, or is it spread out depending on the month that you got your membership?
Over to you, Don.
Okay.
Don, are you out there? Might have lost him for a second. I know the answer. Anyone know the answer to that one?
Oh,
Reba,
Darcy,
can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Darcy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's Ron Chambers. I'm getting my residual income. It's paid. You can have it set up to be paid daily or monthly if you like.
Is that your question, how it's paid, or how long are you paid on a customer?
How it's paid. I mean, do you just get it once a year, or it depends on the month that the membership that you signed up the membership? So let's say, for example, if you signed up 100 members one month and it's in September, then you get that 15 months from now. The next month, October, let's say you sign up another 100, then it's another 15 months before you get that residual income.
Oh, Don or Ron, you want to answer that?
Yeah, it's Ron, Darcy. Your residual income is paid monthly. The way that I'm getting mine, I have a couple of different associate numbers, so the one associate number is paid monthly. But on my second number, my residual income is paid daily. As it comes in, they pay it out. You know, so you can call into corporate and clarify how you want that to come. I have another comment I wanted to make, Darcy, if that's okay.
Okay.
You know, obviously this is a tremendous opportunity, but what a tremendous presentation that Don did in such a very short and concise way. It was awesome, and had several different things that hit me, but particularly this one thing. I think for those of us who work with insurance brokers, benefits brokers, and the like, you know, it's kind of hard to paint the picture for them on the residual income. But Don did such a great job with this. It's sort of a question to you, Darcy. You might want to kick this around with John and some of the other leaders on the call. But this presentation is a presentation that I believe I'd like to show my benefits brokers and insurance agents, because when you take a look at the numbers on this, it's pretty awesome. And I think that could be a bit of a motivator for them to understand, hey, there's really a lot of money in this. When they're comparing the price points to other products they sell, like health insurance and so forth, you know, it's kind of small in their mind. But when you look at the numbers, it's really great. So what are your thoughts on that, using this as a tool to encourage our benefits brokers and insurance brokers to do more?
I think that's great, and this is a very this is the purpose of this webinar, is to be recorded. It will be on ShieldNation, and you can forward it to people so that they can see it for themselves, agents you're talking to. So we will cut the question and answer off and cut the beginning, so it's just the presentation from Don, and that way you can share it. I did it for Don to share and for us to share, so that will be up on ShieldNation. The other thing is this PowerPoint will be available to you all, so that you can do exactly what you're talking about, Ron. We want to equip you so you can take this message, because it's exactly what you said. Not only can they have huge upfront income, but they can have the ability to recruit other agents. And when an agent understands, the only difference between us and an AFLAC agent or a real estate agent is like for instance, my sister's a real estate agent, and then she has my niece, and she says, you should do real estate, it's so fun. So now my sister tells my niece to do real estate. My niece comes into the real estate office. Now those two are the top producers in the real estate office, and my sister is not getting any benefit from the sales of my niece. Now my sister brought her in, my sister trained her, my sister helped her get started. Now she's doing very well, but there's no team building. This one right here, this is like not happening. So this is the one thing. They don't have that in AFLAC. They don't have that in Northwest Mutual. They don't have that in Allstate. So you are strictly an agent, and if somebody else comes in, that is your competition. You don't get the team override. So this particular PowerPoint and this presentation is definitely for you to build a large B2B sales organization and be able to bring to the table the reality of what we offer versus all those other companies. There's no, they can't hold a candle to us. Or the idea, oh, well, I get residuals too, I sell whatever. Okay, well, you have 1,000 people in the same city selling life insurance. You're competing against 1,000 people with financial planning. We have, maybe in Cincinnati with you, Ron, maybe there's like full-time 10 people. 10 people in Cincinnati that are going out to, I can imagine, 100,000 probably small business owners. 10 people full-time, that's not cutting it. You've got to go into recruiting. You've got to take the story out there, and this presentation will help you to show the validity and the power of what we offer for somebody to make a valid, real career choice. And this isn't just, oh, yeah, this is a side hobby and call 2 people a day. This literally in the B2B space is so, you've got a window. Literally, I'm a front-end entrepreneur, and I can tell you, you all on this phone have a window of opportunity from now, and I'd say 3 to 5 years, to be the LegalShield professional B2B serving your local community, the one that is going to the companies, they trust you. I mean, literally, Brielle cannot keep up. She has more business than she can handle, so she has to recruit, has to. It's a necessity because she can't get it to all her enrollments because there's too many. And it all started with just caring about people and going out there with this service. So now the problem in when you present to somebody, sometimes they don't see the power and the amount of money that can be made, and this is the answer for like you, Ron, what you're talking about. They kind of go, yeah, 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 and I'm like, do they not get it? Why are they not getting it? And I went to a presentation with Brielle with 9 agents once, and they're like, well, how do you make the money? And how do you make, four of the 9 agents asked the same question, and Brielle didn't really have anything, which is why we have on ShieldNation that associate compensation plan and the general agent compensation so we could show the money. Well, this one is a really strong presentation that blows it out of the water, showing the money. They need to see that exactly. And you will have the ability to recruit and develop a solid and real local and then statewide and then national sales force that goes to the community on the B2B space. So great comment. And yes, you will have access to this PowerPoint and the webinar. Anyone else? Okay.
Can you hear me, Darcy?
Sure. Who's that?
Dan Webb.
Hi, Dan.
All right. Good morning. Yeah, it's a fantastic presentation by Don. It's just a mind blower here, and I just want to share real quick, what we've discovered here in our marketplace. We had a life and death situation with the identity theft here. You're probably going to be hearing about it, but when the lady went to tell her relatives about this and protecting themselves, what really sold them and what I think would really be huge is the perks. The perks are what sold them, and probably the perks are what will be retaining them, even though we know the power of them and how important it is to protect yourself. They wanted the perks. It's amazing. So, thank you so much for this, and I think we can't underestimate those perks.
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely.
Hi,
in fact,
Darcy.
Go ahead. Who's that?
Hi, Darcy. It's Sharon Okanowski, and this is phenomenal because I am sending a broker one of the reasons that he should make a decision, and he's a pretty big broker, and this is perfect, absolutely perfect to send him. So should I send him the PowerPoint or the audio?
You can listen to the audio once Trish trims it down to just the presentation part, and then you can decide what you want to do. But
okay.
You can even send them, well, let's see, it's better if you're meeting with them,
Yeah, I know. He's hard to get to meet with, but I'll try to meet with him. That would be great.
If he will look at it, I would send the video. I mean, we'll have it up as soon as it's ready.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you so much. That was awesome. And, one of the things I learned today is about the persistency, and it's really about the team persistency, too. It's so important to impress on your team how important persistency is not only to them but to everybody on the team. and the numbers. I know I'm going to increase my numbers. It's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to show you all this as well since Dan brought that up. Here's a new consumer folder. So here's what you're used to seeing. This is different. It has more. This is a team of people got together and created this to even be better than it was. And so we have a little bit more have you ever questions to make sure that we have a wide net that we're throwing out there. But here's the new identity theft protection, and here's the new member perks. So even member perks is on the consumer folder now. And this is phenomenal, $5 million guarantee. We'll do whatever it takes for as long as it takes. Basically on the ID theft, it's just here's the problem. This is the 6 areas. Here's what they do with it, mess you up. Just kind of goes through all the different things that can happen because people think it's just my credit cards. And this is how we fix it, the very bottom part. So that's how the identity theft, this is a new consumer folder that you can get at ShieldNation in the store. So just wanted to show that. Oh, wait. Did y'all see that?
No.
No. Oh, gosh, I just realized. Wait a minute. Okay, let's see. It's not. I don't know, something's not working on my screen. Hold on. All right, now do you see it?
Yes.
There we go. Okay, so here it is. This is the first page. Everybody sees that. Everybody saw the legal protection page. And then we added the new identity theft, which has, here's the problem, here's the 6 areas, here's what they do with your identity, so here's the reality, here's the problem, here's what we do about the problem. So you got the $5 million service guarantee, we do whatever it takes for as long as it takes, and then on the back, along with member testimonials, we added the member perks. So there you can make all the comments for everything all in one little folder. So we're pretty excited about that. Amazing new consumer folder. So there's a little sneak peek at that.
Wow.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
Hi, Darcy. This is Jim again, Jim Riley. Do you have that brochure for the New York market? Because we don't have trial defense here. So I was curious.
No. If a state has one, we do have, yeah, we do have there's 5 states that have 6. And there's 7. Well, anyways, we don't have it for the Hawaii or New York, y'all.
Right, so I'll use it and just let them know about the difference. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else out there? Jim Harkema, I know you're out there, and I think it's a wrap then, everyone. This will be up, and we'll have this up, Trish, and we'll put it on What's New. The PowerPoint will be under What's New. And then, or actually the PowerPoint, yeah, will be under What's New, and then the video, because this is very important for recruiting and for really sharing with your agents. So have a great week, and October, make this the best month you've ever had. Talk to you later.
Thank you.